already. Yes or
Okay.
no? Okay, let's get it. Okay, so
Let
this
her
right
finish.
here,
Let her finish.
this is the slave house on Gory Island. Okay, the Gory Island.
Where's Gory
The
Allen?
House of Slaves on Senegal was some accounts and stock with 20 million Africans. La la la. House of Slaves only shipped out
Wow.
33 slaves. Let's go.
Yeah, that's Willie Lynch and them family.
Gory Allen. I'm looking at it. I want to see what
No,
happened.
Right
yeah.
here.
Gory Island.
Here's
It's in Senegal. It was one of the sites
here
that
go
were
a picture right
emergency.
here. The sincere fiction of Gory Island. And then you got this bullshit. You probably can't see them right here, but when you pull
That's
this up,
hold on. That's not a source of what you claim.
That's TikTok.
this is on my
That's not a
page.
no. Hold on. Y'all
No,
see what she
don't
just
please.
Give
did?
us a source. That's not a
That's
source
not a
with a
damn. What
document.
the hell? I'm trying to figure.
Y'all
God, just
crazy.
don't know how to shut the fuck up.
What
God
the hell you?
damn, shut up.
Damn. I'm doing. Whoa. You ain't finna fool my people like that. That's not a source.
Golly. Listen, if you
Give
pull
us
up
a
this
tangible source.
article
That's not
named
a reliable
The
source.
Sincere
Stop.
Fiction of
Come on,
Gory
man.
Island.
See
Here's
this what they
Barack
do on see y'all.
Obama.
That's
Here's
what they do
Darling,
Barack
on their
Obama
lives.
right here.
See that's that
darling,
stuff
mute
they
her
do
up,
on their lives.
darling.
They just be
Here
making
is
up
Barack
stuff, and
Obama.
then
This is so
that's
sad.
not a source.
Is you gonna
That's
let
not a
me talk
source.
or
That's
what?
not
What
a
are we
choice,
doing
ma'am.
here?
Where's the
Y'all gonna
peer
act like
review?
kids or you
Where's the
gonna let
peer
me
review?
talk? You gonna act like kids or you gonna let me talk?
Wow.
God damn. Y'all gonna grow the fuck up or
I
y'all
know
gonna act
doggone
like
well
Darling,
you
kids?
ain't
mute her
got.
up,
I know damn
darling.
well you ain't
Okay,
got
act
no
like your
man.
age.
Oh, I
Y'all
forgot.
old
You
as
got a.
fuck. Act like
I
it.
forgot. You got a man
God
part.
damn.
That's what you said. You
Now,
got a.
She's
this
Your
crazy. I
man
is
don't
part
know.
bigger than mine, I guess.
the sincere fiction of Gory Island, Africa's best known
No, what are you
slave
talking
trade
about?
memorial.
Are
Right
you talking
here.
about Gory Island in the Senegal?
So
Listen, listen.
here is
Can you?
Barack Obama standing in front of the
What are you
slave house.
talking about?
So now we're gonna go in details
Are you
about the
crazy?
slave houses.
That's not a
So
valid
let's go
source.
in
Y'all ain't
details.
getting
Lord,
Let's
wrong.
go in
That's
details.
Oh
not the
Let's go
type of
man,
in
source
this
we
is
was
details
Lord
about
asking
the
have
for,
mercy.
slave
ma'am.
houses.
Darling,
Help
you
us.
have
Let's
to
tell
explain
them
off
that
the
the
big screen,
fictional
please. I
Mokolo.
slave
can't take
trade
it.
route is
yes,
Mokolo.
largely a myth.
yes,
Its
Mokolo.
warriors have
yes,
agreed
brother.
since
Hold
That
the
is
on,
not
koi,
a
Colonial
koi,
source,
koi,
young
Coast
Ma'am,
lady.
koi.
that the
ma'am,
Pistol,
that is
house
not
is
the type of
pistol,
source we
describing.
were looking for.
pistol, koi.
I know
Darling,
damn well we're not sitting up
No.
here
Big
listening to
Daddy,
crazy stuff.
please.
I respect.
Pistol, koi.
Is we going here? What?
Order, 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 please. Shut up.
God, Lee.
We do
Pistol,
not want
koi.
TikTok
Wait,
University,
koi.
ma'am. We are already the TikTok
Pistol,
University. We were
pistol,
looking
wait,
for a
wait.
legitimate source.
This is my
Pistol,
page.
pistol. Okay,
That's
hold on for a
young lady.
second.
Do
Let
you
me tell you
understand
for
what a
the people.
source is?
People,
This
you
is a
people.
source. If
Koi,
y'all shut the
koi.
fuck
You
up,
No, no.
people.
Let me
this
break down what a
Pistol,
source
shut
is
up.
is.
a source.
Your source must have peer
Pistol,
review.
God,
can you
And
hold it
Lee.
on? Mr.
What?
Perry, Mr. Perry, let her
yes,
finish what
Thank
she have,
you.
and we will discuss about it. Let
God,
her finish
Lee.
for a moment. Otherwise, it's gonna be boiled. She will not. She will not. Will present anything unless it's only
She's not
emotional
presenting
discussion is
anything
gonna be.
tangible.
So that let her finish.
Oh,
Let her
how you
finish.
gonna tell
The
somebody
judgment will
to
Now
be
we
show you
can
some
remain.
hear her. We
sources?
can hear her. They'll tell her to get closer to a microphone.
So y'all can't
But
hear me.
and Pistol, present your point in a
Jesus
respectful manner,
Christ.
please.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Go ahead.
Now, this is the source. It's just on my page. This is my page. This is the source.
Wow.
This is a article written by a person who, Lord, this is the person that's written by. Whoo, Lord. I ain't
Yeah,
never
can you
mind.
just give us that? That's what we mean by a source. 'Cause we don't want to see what. So can you just give us the source?
Well, baby, let me do this, please. The man just told y'all to be quiet. Please listen to the host.
He did.
So,
We don't care about nothing about
okay,
that, ma'am.
girl,
We want
girl,
you to hurry
please,
up, please.
girl.
What's the source?
What's the
My
source?
dick.
Like,
Shit,
just
my
tell us
dick.
the source, please.
Golly. So this was written by Francio Richard right here. From Francio Richard, I'm gonna read what he wrote. He works at some college. You can go to my page. He works at the college, and he studies slave houses, and all that shit. Okay, so Richard, as it says right here, he said that the house only only let 33 slaves go. First of all, only 33 slaves went from Africa. He did not say if they was African or Indian. He just said 33,000 slaves. Okay, now.
Oh. Did say they were African or Indians?
Right,
Clarify that.
because the slave trade was in reverse. They did not take. They took us from
Oh
America
my God.
to
I just
here
can't. I just can't do this
to
no more. I
Africa
can't.
and then
I
back.
can't. I just can't. I can't do it. I can't.
Okay.
I can't.
This is so
I
hilarious.
can't.
I
You
mean,
know
I
what?
can't.
I'm done. I'm done. I'm done.
It was
So this
I
is
reversed.
told you, you can't be
like I
healthy with
said,
this
this is
one.
Gory Island right here. As you can see, you can look this up. It's called The Sincere Fiction of
But
Gory
sister,
Island,
Gory Island,
Africa's
it's
best
in
known
Senegal.
slave trade memorial. And it
oh,
was
man.
written by the white guy. And
Gory
let
Island
me
is in Senegal, West Africa.
Gory
Gory
Island
I was
is
just about to say that's in
and
West Africa,
okay,
ma'am.
and so keep going.
David.
Gory Island is in West Africa,
It's
Senegal.
like,
I've been there.
David, please.
give
Okay,
us a
Okay.
so
source.
this house,
What's your
that
you
house
not
was this house wasn't built into the 1750s. That's
a lot
way
of people need
after.
history
That is
education
way
for sure.
after the slave trade started. And then these are the people who was over the house was called the Signar women. The Signar women was half Senegal, half Portuguese, and they owned slaves and they lived in those houses, and those houses were not made until the 1750s. And this is one of the women right here. This is one of the Senegal women, the Signar women, half Senegal, half Portuguese, with her two slaves. These slave houses were not built until 1750s, and only 33,000 slaves went through those houses. Only 33,000. And here
That's
is President Obama
can you
every
wrap it up
year.
so quick because we don't have
Every,
time.
every year, the presidents go, and this is President Obama standing in front of the doorway. If you can look at stuff yourself, he's standing in front of the doorway because this is what they do every year. They go visit this every year, the presidents. And
Mm-hmm.
when you pull this article up, you gonna see him standing right in the front doorway. This is how it looks far. This is Senegal, Africa. It's called the House of Slaves. Senegal's Gory Island. Okay. And then once you get to the article, you can't really see it good. But you will see President Obama standing in front of it. That's what they do as they presidents. They go there every year or every other year just for slavery, whatever they going there for, to visit the so-called slave
So
stop.
what's
That's
your
what they
point?
do every
What is
year.
the point?
Right. Thank you.
What's
You
the
saved
So
point?
it
the
to say what?
point
Mm-hmm.
is, if this shit wasn't built into the 1700s, who were the slaves?
My goodness, I'm out
The
of here.
Oh
Indians.
Thank
my
you, brother.
The
goodness.
Indians
Dawi,
and the
thank you
slaves.
very
We got
much.
a cute out.
Brother, thank you.
Okay. No, Mokoko, you can. Now it's your turn.
Like,
Now it's your
Okay,
turn.
okay, I'm
No,
just
he
gonna
don't.
read
He
this.
don't
I'm
never
just
have.
gonna read
He don't
this.
never have no. All he do is
Okay,
talk.
it's
Y'all
my
just
turn. Can
talking
you
and
mute
shit.
yourself? Can you mute
It's
yourself?
his turn.
like,
No, cause y'all
Okay.
didn't mute
please mute
yourselves. Hell
yourself,
no. Why would I
Can
sister.
you
show y'all
mute
any
yourself,
respect?
Thank you.
please?
Y'all, no,
Thank you.
no. You didn't
Thank
show
you.
me any respect.
Your time's
None.
up.
Thank you.
You didn't
Pistol.
show
Okay,
me no respect
Thank
at all. Why would I
because
show
you are
you
not
any
saying
type of
anything
respect?
important,
you.
so
And then the
Respectfully,
shit
you
that you
don't
sir.
is
deserve
finna
it.
say,
Okay,
you
Robert,
just
Can I
finna
your
tell
turn
me
to
respond,
about the
please?
answer.
past. Don't nobody
Can
want
I
to hear that
respond?
shit.
Can I respond?
No, cause I'm not even finished yet. Okay,
You're
so
done.
You gotta be.
choo 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 choo
You
choo
have
choo.
to be. David,
Choo
please
choo
mute
choo
her
choo
out.
choo choo
Take her off
choo
the big
choo choo
screen.
choo 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 choo
I
choo.
thought that she was going to show
No,
us
I'm
like
Pistol.
not
legitimate
finished yet. No,
things,
I'm
That
not.
she's you
not
requested to
things
be
from
on
off
big
your
screen, but
TikTok.
you're not presenting anything
Right, you
important.
proved that's nothing. We literally could have saw that from the
No,
small box like
keep
we
on,
do
keep
each
on.
other every day. We get that little every day on our
Mokoko.
pages. We always go to sources.
Dawi,
Ask them.
can I
So
respond?
I don't want to
Yeah,
see any
respond
more of
now.
this
Okay,
foolishness. I
okay.
don't. Please,
Listen up.
Dawi.
I just want to say this, and I'm gonna drop. Remember the book that I gave you yesterday, brother? The American slavery show
Yeah,
introduction.
yeah,
Okay, if you read the book, right?
yeah.
The book says, right, the ships sail to Europe, Brazil, Mexico. I'm just reading one of the paragraph. Peru, Barbados, Jamaica, Cuba. Barbados,
Mm-hmm.
Haiti, and Dominican Republic, Charleston, and New Orleans, taking people who would
Mm-hmm.
work as miners, cowboys, seamstresses, cooks, and sailors.
The
And
orphan
others
children. They were
were
young as
sold to
5 years
labor.
old.
Huh?
I, yes, even like the orphan children they were taken. I've read that book.
Can
We
I finish?
studied
Can
that
I
in
finish
school.
just reading this? Is a godmother. You have a beautiful name, so you're a mother. So respect.
Thank you. I
Uh,
respect y'all, and I don't want her to think. Listen to me, brother. You
yeah,
don't
we
have to.
respect
That
you
is a
because you're a
beautiful.
mother. There's some girls here, so we don't
I
respect
want
girls.
you to. I want you to write that book in the comments because that's
The
actually a
brother
great
have the
book.
book. I gave it yesterday.
Yeah, I want you to. I know. I
It's
want you to
called
write it down. I want you to write it.
American
Write it in
Slavery
the comments.
Short Introduction by Heather Andrea Williamson. It's American
Mm-hmm.
Black American. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna keep reading. Charleston and New Orleans, taking people who would work as miners, cowboys, seamstresses, cooks, and sailors, and others were sold to labor in fields of sugarcane, tobacco,
Mm-hmm.
indigo, rice, or coffee, producing the cash crops that the European investors and colonists demanded. Listen, they came from places in brother. He got the book. They came from
Mm-hmm.
places in West Africa that are today the countries of Sierra Leone, Liberia, the
Mm-hmm.
Ivory Coast, Ghana, Togo,
Mm-hmm.
Benin, Nigeria, Cameroon, as well as from West Central Africa and Southeast Africa, and they
Southeast.
spoke numerous languages, including Mandika, Bambara. It's one of the languages spoken in West Africa. It's spoken by Wolof. Wolof is a language is a Senegalese official language. So the language spoken in Senegal, Wolof. Akan, Akan, it's pretty much between Ghana, um,
There's also Yoruba.
Yoruba, and
Yoruba,
And I,
Twi.
Congo,
mm-hmm.
Can I finish?
Congo.
Now,
Can I finish? Twi, Yoruba, Fon. Fon is like more way in Togo and Benin, and Kikongo. So I speak Kikongo. I speak Kikongo. So you speaking to
and Congo.
somebody who speaks Kikongo, right? That's the
Mm-hmm.
language. Okay, they say more than 12 millions African boarded the ships. So she don't even have a real source. More than
Right, and
12
that's what
million.
Mr. Congo,
More than
you are.
12
Listen,
million African
I don't want
boarded the
her to think
ships.
that. Oh,
Can
we
I finish,
shut her
please?
down. It's not that.
Yeah.
It's just speaking facts to us because we are not unintelligent or ignorant to learning anything. And if when we ask you to give us sources, we don't mean from your TikTok. We mean actual
Exactly.
sources.
Exactly. I'm giving you
And
guys the book. Can
and
I
I
finish just
also
reading a
and I
book?
also and I also want to let her know I agree, but it all this is what I'm trying to get her to think logically of the common sense when they say African Americans are the only ones not paid for their reparation tells us that there were more than other slaves. The Mexicans, we know all of that, so that's what I would say.
Sister, let me
And
just finish this book, please.
my sternness is not because I'm being
Godmother.
disrespectful. It's just I don't have the energy for
So
the
we
shenanigans.
only people who have been
Godmother, can I just finish? Can I just finish what I'm reading,
Yes.
please? Can I
Yes.
just finish what I'm reading? Peso, whatever the name. Can I just finish what I'm reading?
Why do you? Why? Okay, you was not muting. Look, I don't know what the fuck you was.
I'm just giving a real source.
If she would calm,
You-
hold on, Mr. Guy. If
Because
she
the
would
whole
calm
time
down,
I was trying to fucking
I would
talk,
explain
you
to her
was
why
not
she's being
muting.
muted.
So they've been talking all this time. So go ahead, let
If,
me talk.
if you
Shit,
would
because I've
calm
been trying
down,
to get this shit out for the
I'm
longest. And you keep trying to
take
fucking
her
mute
off the
me.
big screen,
Mute
please.
they
Take
ass.
her.
Shit, mute
If you,
them.
if you,
Mute them. Fuck
if
Can
you
I
would
them.
calm
finish
down,
my?
I would
Can I
explain to
finish
you why
my
you're
point,
being
please?
Because
muted.
no, y'all
Listen,
done.
can you
Y'all are
hold
very
yourself?
done. Y'all are very done. Now, y'all just talk for
Can
5
you
minutes and
hold
y'all don't show
And
yourself?
no
that's why you're
proof.
being muted.
Listen,
All y'all do is talk.
listen.
Out of y'all asses. Y'all don't never show no goddamn proof because y'all don't read and y'all don't do nothing but sit y'all dirty
I'm
ass
just giving you
on
a book.
TikTok
What's your
and talk
sources?
shit
I
on the
just gave a
goddamn
book.
page.
Can you
Y'all
please
don't
mute
never
her
show
Listen,
out
no
or
sources.
either
And I
and
bet
take her
y'all
down off
stink.
the big
I
screen
bet
Kick
because
it
I
out,
can't take
bro.
it.
Can you kick the? Yeah, come on.
Like,
God damn.
hold on, Mr. Chicago.
yeah,
Miss
I bet
Pistol Packing
I
Pen,
bet
ma'am.
every single
Listen,
last
Can
one of
you?
y'all
Pistol.
motherfuckers
Hold on, Mr. Congo. You don't got to do
In
that. I'm
some,
here. Miss Pistol Pack and Pen. Listen, we respect everything that you're saying, but at the end of the day, ma'am, you're only pouring up dialogue that you
thank you.
have got from your own thing, and you're bringing it around on TikTok off your page. We don't want to go to your TikTok page. We just want you to bring us Khalil. That's it. Go ahead.
Okay,
What
thank you.
did she
So,
not
brother and
understand about
sister
what he's saying?
godmother,
Give
yesterday
us
I
a
was
source.
here. Yesterday I was here because if you go to, there's a website. Actually, I'm just gonna give you a website. If you go to
Uh-uh.
this website, it's called www.slavevoyages.org slave
Mm-hmm.
and assessment slide estimate and faces. So they give you the estimate of a number of slaves that were taken
Mm-hmm.
to
Mm-hmm.
Africa, from Africa to America. So these people, so let me just finish what I was reading. So they say, I just gave you the actual country that a lot of slaves were taken. I just gave you Nigeria. And they say they spoke numerous languages, including, I just gave you Kikongo language. Um, I speak Kikongo. That's one of the languages that I speak.
Yeah,
So
which
how are you
means you
gonna deny it?
understand all the languages though. You speak, that means you understand Creole and everything.
I speak Creole. No, I learned
Yes,
Creole because I
I
have a
know
lot of
that.
hatred.
Congo is actually one of the most powerful. I would like for us to hold a class where you can teach that, because if you
They
learn
don't.
the Congo
They're
language,
not ready to get the education because a lot of them are really miseducated. Okay, let me just finish
But
this. They say more
um,
than 12 million.
but
More
I
than
mean,
12.
All it says
Can
is
I
like
finish?
12
You just
million.
come on here. We got Portal Obey. He's gonna speak after me. More
my
than
thing
12
is,
million.
though,
Can I finish
can
my
I ask
point? You
y'all?
just come on here, brother. Let me
No,
finish what I'm making. My point.
Makulu, I don't care. I've
Please.
been
Let him
listening to you till
finish.
you
Let me
disrespect the
finish
young
my
lady earlier,
point.
bro.
Come on, man.
Makulu, you don't have a point. You made it already.
What do you mean?
My
I
thing
don't have a point.
is if y'all gonna have these
Let me just
conversations
finish
genuinely,
reading what
why
I'm
do y'all
reading.
have minds like Makulu on the
Godly,
platform?
can you
Makulu's
please
just here
mute
to
your
cause
mic? Let me finish my
No, let
point.
him
Come on,
finish,
man.
I'm
bro.
not gonna be nothing, bro.
Let him
Why
finish.
do
I
y'all
will
have a
give
he
you
Makulu
gonna
my
on the
Let
turn.
me
I
platform?
will
finish
Y'all
give you
reading
my
what
educated,
I'm
turn.
reading.
he
I'm
gonna land
educating
the
my people.
let him
You don't have
land
nothing to give.
let him land the plane, and then it's gonna be your
Did
Come
he,
on,
turn.
did he,
man.
did,
I'm
did
gonna
he,
mute
did
up.
he let the did he let the young lady that was up here last time land her plane? Every time we up here
Yo,
talking, he's cutting us off and having
Come
stuff to
on, let
say.
me finish
yo,
what
He
I'm
All
don't have
right,
reading.
but
nothing to
this
let
say.
him
time
finish.
we're
I
gonna
will
do
give
better.
you
That's
my
Oh,
okay. We're
get
turn.
gonna
on the
do.
big screen and show us proof of that, Makulu. Show us proof of
We're
that.
Can
gonna
I
do.
finish?
Show us proof of this stuff that you're talking about.
We're gonna
Brother
do better,
Darwin,
Pop.
what,
Why don't you
what
just
did I
bring it up
give you
there?
yesterday? I gave him a book. It's called,
He
you can Google it up right
giving us
now.
the website,
You've been
so
on
that
our
is cool.
platform several times, but I've been watching you. I've been watching you, Makulu, and the things that you do are very, very disrespectful, man.
What do you
I'm
mean
telling you that.
disrespectful? You are pretending. That's your identity.
This app for you is to say things,
You
man.
are
And I
a
don't know how they
pretending.
constantly allowing you to come up on the
You want
platform
me to
as
say
if
it loudly?
you
You are
giving
a
some knowledge to
pretending.
everybody. All you
You
doing
have
is
Why you
identity
got why you
crisis.
gotta use
That's you.
slurs, Makula?
these talking points that everybody else
If
has
you don't
already.
let
You
me
cutting
finish,
people
I
off
will
being
keep calling
disrespectful.
you pretending. You
She went up there.
you
She
have
went up there.
identity
I don't care
crisis.
about that, Makulu. You safe saying that. You safe
You
saying that.
hate
You
yourself.
safe on this
Let
internet
him
saying that.
finish. Let
Let me
Godly,
finish.
Godly, let him finish.
Give us the source,
Godly,
and then
Okay,
let God
okay,
and then
Hold
let God
on,
go ahead
Corey,
and say what
Corey,
he
Corey,
needs to
Corey,
say.
Corey.
okay.
With all
I
If
gave
he
a
got a
brother,
source, go
God,
sister,
ahead, Makulu. Show
godmother.
us your source.
Yesterday, I gave a brother
Godly,
the source. It's called.
let
You
him
can look.
finish
If
and
you
you
go to
will.
Google, you can Google it up. The book. It's called American Slavery: Short Introduction by Heather Andrea Williamson. So just look it up right now. When you read the book, you're gonna debunk all these people who claim the transatlantic slave never existed, or they lied about the number. Okay, they say more than 12 million Africans boarded the ships, but nearly 2 million died during the Middle Passage, and they found a resting place at the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean, right? And
Mm-hmm.
they say, right, although only a small percentage of listen, only a small percentage of the African captives arrived in the area that became the United States. Listen, over time, they came to constitute a large
What
proportion
year?
of.
Do show any years on these paperwork or
Man,
this book?
come on, man.
No, I'm asking you a question. It's a serious question. Do it say in a year? Could you say over time and you use
I just gave you a book. Go buy the book. Let me put the title. Let me put it on a comment so everybody can go buy it.
Put your camera on. Let's see the
Let
book or
me get
something.
let me
Cause
get
you
another.
read.
Let me get
I
another.
can't give you that. You can buy the
brother,
book.
just
I
let them
just
flow.
give you the
Okay,
source.
When we speak, we gonna
Go
flow.
look it
wasn't
up.
it
Let them flow. Go
18?
ahead, Makulu.
But wait, wasn't it
Put it in the
1850
comment.
around 18? It was. I think if I'm not mistaken, I'm off the top of my head. Like I want to
Can I
say,
just
like
finish? Can I just finish?
Let
And
him
and
finish.
it says, right? It says
Put the
over
book
the
in the
time,
comment.
they came to constitute a large proportion of the country's foreign-born population. Indeed, before 1820, four times as many African as European lived in the colony and states. It took some time, but as European countries, particularly England, colonized the lands that became the United States, they relied more and more on the labor of captive African and their descendants. That's that's the book. So the book only has 171 pages. So if y'all can read it, because
Okay.
I read 3 books a
Good
week.
job, Makulu.
Can you put the
Good
book in the
job. I'm
comment?
glad you landed your plane. You don't need to take back
Can
off.
you?
Let's go on and
No,
discuss
I'm
this
putting.
information that you
Yeah, I'm
just
putting.
laid out there.
I'm typing right now. You can go
Okay,
ahead.
okay. I
Yeah,
got
put it in the
you. I
comment
got
so
you.
we can
Appreciate it. Thank you.
screenshot the book.
Thank you. Thank you. This is the thing that I don't like about people like Makulu, because they get up here regurgitating shit that stuff that they done read somewhere and all that, and you can do a quick Google search to debunk them. When he keep hollering about 12.5 million slaves came over here to the Americas, he negate the fact that you can go and Google and see how many actually hit North America, which is the people that you see speaking and talking today are telling you that did no great number of Africans get brought over here on the transatlantic slave trade. You can see that right now on Google. It shows
No,
388,000 at
you
the
don't have to
most.
go to Google. There's an
At the most,
actual
right now
website.
today.
You can look it up.
Right.
There's a website.
Hold on. You can
You
go
don't have.
any
I don't
website,
go on
you
Google. I
want to.
don't Google
Hold
things.
on, Makulu. Makulu, I know you're agent. I know you're agent. You just like to talk and cut off so information don't get
He's calling me
into
an
people's
agent.
ears. The young lady just sat
Nobody
on
pays
the
me.
platform and gave y'all sources, even though she was showing y'all a video from
But
that she
this
had
was
made out of
written
those
by an
sources.
American sister.
You
She's
mute
not even
Makulu.
Go ahead,
from
Makulu. Go ahead.
America.
Goddamn.
Go ahead.
Mute. You
Go
gotta
ahead,
come up.
Makulu. Get it out.
You gotta mute
This is what
Makulu,
I'm
You
man.
were
saying.
cutting me
This is
off
what I'm
too,
saying,
so
host.
I have the right to
This is
cut
what I'm
you off.
saying, host. What he wants to do
If we
is
asking
diffuse
for
the
a source, we
conversation.
asking
He
for
don't
a
want
source.
y'all to hear
That
the
means
truth.
by author or a legit source. I mean, we
Okay,
didn't
so
we
let me explain that to you, and I'm gonna go on where I want to for that, because I don't like the disrespect that my sister got
But
up
I
here when
just
she was
gave
up
you a
here.
source. Give us your sources.
Okay, okay, well, this is
your
the point.
sister didn't get
Google
disrespected.
the stuff that you just said. Makula is a book that somebody wrote. There's thousands of books that's been written that say differently than what you're saying.
God, have you
So
been outside of?
what I
You
want to
never
do, what I
traveled.
want to do
The
is,
only
I
place
said,
you've been is
why,
America. You never even
why,
set your foot in Africa.
look,
These people they travel.
I hate to tell people how they should
They do the research.
run they pages or whatever. My thing
They do
is
the research. Never
when you
do.
have a voice on the page that don't allow people to talk, that voice needs to be removed. It's not productive to the dialogue. If you're trying to get
That's
to
exactly
any
what
type of
you're doing
resolution
on
or
your platform.
understanding,
You do
you
exactly
can't
the
have
same
nobody that
thing.
just hop on interjecting. This guy's an agent. This is agent behavior. And I don't know how y'all don't see it.
You
Yeah,
crazy.
And
can
to
I
the point
speak
that I
now?
was making, the
You
sister put a
crazy.
video up that she made out of the sources that she had got over there. She was trying to explain to y'all that was somebody that was a actual researcher who had did a study over there in the Congos where the slave force was at. And on his study, in his analysis of it, that he found that only 33,000 slaves
But how you gonna explain a
Africans came off
video
from the slave
that you
force.
studied? You made a
But
video
I'm
about
not worried
sources
about that.
without
You see what
bringing
I'm
us
saying?
facts.
So host, I'm gonna ask you this one time, host. Are you an agent, or are you in here really trying to have a productive conversation with us?
He's not agent. He's for
Because
the
I don't
unification of
understand why
African
these
The
people.
thing,
people.
hold
He's
on,
not an
move. Hold
Are
agent.
on,
you
move.
asking?
Mute yourself
Makulu,
out
how
for a
you gonna
second.
speak for another
Yeah, but
man
are you
too,
Move,
bro?
asking?
mute yourself out.
Are
Mute
you trying
yourself
to have
out.
a productive
Are you
No, you're not.
conversation
asking?
when we
That's
come
not
in?
even.
But how you gonna ask him that question? That's a dumb question.
I'm
Move,
Are
asking
you
the host,
move.
asking?
It's
Makulu,
okay. Mute yourself
respectfully.
out
You
for a
can
minute.
take
And this is
whatever you
Zawid is
want.
not even the one that you're
Let me
speaking
answer
to.
for him.
Zawid is the
Let
host.
me
So
answer him,
yeah. Let me
yes,
speak.
that's
Mr.
what
I'm
I'm about to
saying the
Godly.
say.
host
Can
can
we let
speak for
Zawid
himself.
Well,
answer him,
let me
please?
Yeah,
speak. Let me answer for
yeah.
him, Mr.
Go ahead.
Godly. My mission over here is to unite my people to engage into meaningful activity so that
Okay.
this discussion is designed in order to identify the problem that is encountered by colonization impact, so that we are organizing and mobilizing a lot of ideas from different walk of life in order to use it as input. If you take this as a agent work, well, I am agent. What do you mean,
Mm,
agent?
Okay.
I
No,
just
but
want
I mean,
to
hold,
gather people
what I'm asking you,
together to bring solution for our
right?
future generation in order to
I got you.
clear the air of confusion that is
Right,
encountered by African and the
Exactly.
rest of people like you. That is what I'm
right.
doing, my brother. This
Thank
is
you.
my
Okay,
volunteer
so my
commitment.
brother, this is my point because I thought that's what you were doing. We come over into these spaces to have a genuine conversation. But you have people on your
Yeah,
platform that don't want the conversation to be genuine. And if you say your goal is what you're saying, their goal that's your goal, is information to get out so we can be better for our future generations. You can't have
yeah.
people on your platform who's just disrespectful and cutting people off to keep them from presenting their information. You
You do
just had this
exactly the
young
same
lady up
thing.
here where it was just all chaos while she was presenting. And it
Didn't we
was,
just listen to you though?
I
hold
Sister,
on,
let
sis,
me tell
hold
you,
on, sis.
let me tell you,
I'm
Mr.
speaking
Gandhi,
directly to the
when
host.
now,
Delivery is
this is
everything.
our first time. My brother,
I'm
Gandhi,
Delivery
speaking
is
keep
directly
it
to the
everything
quiet.
host.
though.
Hold it, Gandhi. This is our first time that we meet personally, me and you. Now
Right.
I know you, who you are, what kinds of cause you have. Next time when something is happen, I just give you the chance to explain yourself in a proper way. In a proper way means in a respected manner. If
Thank
the
you.
girl that's coming inside, the girl before who's presenting her case, she was insulting, like, this is not the place
Exactly.
that we are
Thank
going to
you.
insult
Thank you,
one
brother.
another. So I must
But
Thank
force her
you.
to
my
drop her.
thing,
I must force her I must force her to drop her down, because this is
Exactly.
not the
She
rule
was
of
so
my house.
disrespectful.
My house. I am coming for
hey,
solution,
Makulu,
not for distraction,
yeah,
my brother.
yeah, yeah. And I
That's my
understand where
point.
the conversation got
Godly,
to.
you still my
I
brother. I love
understand
you,
where it
brother.
got to. Makulu, I'm talking directly to this man. He don't need you to talk. Me and the host is talking. Can you respect that?
No, go ahead, bro.
What I'm saying is, host, I understand why you dropped her in the end. But the reason why I got to that point was because of the agitators that's on the platform. Makulu's here just to agitate the conversation. He has no respect
I
for us,
didn't.
and he shows that and
No,
displays
no,
it
no,
every
no, no,
time we
no,
on
no.
the
You
platform.
don't you don't even understand.
Yes,
It
you
was
do.
like
Don't you
this.
have no
Listen,
Makulu?
Godly.
What you said every time you
She
No,
interject
no,
presented
somebody
something, so
and
I
bring
was.
them
It
off
was
and
my
make
no,
it seem
turn
like
I
to
you
just
have
respond
I
to
just
her.
disrespect.
can't allow this to
And the
keep
crazy
going
part
on.
Godly,
about it, Makulu,
Okay,
Makulu.
listen. What is
Okay,
okay?
My
I
bad,
get
Godly.
it,
my
but
bad,
what?
Let,
bro.
let, let me tell
So
it this
Darwin,
way.
he's
I'm
I'm
disrespectful
waiting
gonna
for my
take
and
it
turn,
as
man.
the host is speaking
what
to
is
him.
this for? I
I'm
mean,
gonna take it as a consideration.
What is
I'm gonna take it as a
okay,
consideration
okay.
is
what you
this
said about
constructive
Makulu.
criticism that
Hey,
you're trying to
Mr.
offer
Makulu,
to the
And
host? Because
Mr.
I'm
Makulu,
confused,
I'm
ma'am.
asking
Mr.
you
Makulu.
disrespectfully.
Yeah, Mr. Makulu, we should have to stop disrespect, and we should
No,
have to
brother. If
present our
I
intellectual
don't insult people. I
conclusion
don't
to the
disrespect
stage.
people.
There is a lot of knowledge flowing here, a lot of knowledge, a lot of information. Whether this is from the ignorant side or from intellectual side, we take it as input and we figure it out. We just check it out and test it out, and
That's
if it
it.
is worthy for us, we will use it as an input. You all are a resource for
But
this
brother, you
room.
talking about how we're
You
gonna
all
make
are
progress?
knowledge.
How we gonna make
Let's
progress if
Let
we
that
don't
brother
talk
talk,
We
to
all
brother.
can
each other?
disagree. We can all disagree with information, but respectful people sit down and let people present their information, and then you discuss it afterwards. What you do is you
But
want to
godly,
keep
what do you mean
people's
people
mind confused and
disrespect
not off
you?
the
What do you
information and the
mean?
little
Who
jokes and the little
disrespected
jabs.
you?
And you do that, Makula, because I'm gonna tell you as a man, Makulu, I pray I meet you somewhere in life, man. Because I've just
I
watched you
live in
just
America, but
constantly
I'm not gonna
disrespect
meet
people over
you.
and
You
over,
wanna
man.
meet
I pray I meet you somewhere in life.
me?
That's what I
Stop.
do.
Okay.
Because
All
what
right.
you're doing
Cool.
is
Let's stop.
disingenuous and
Listen.
disrespectful.
Listen.
You do
Okay.
it
Wait
right
a
in
minute.
our
Godly,
faces.
Let's
you
stop
still
right
my
there though.
brother. I love
Listen.
you, brother.
Right. Let's stop right there
But
because
I
again,
have to tell you the
hold
truth.
on, Moo. Listen. Wait. Mute yourself out. Mute. Let's stop right there because remember when I came in, they were agitated. Truth was agitated. Everybody was agitated. So I'm going to say just from hearing the things that he said, he had to be downstairs listening and watching for a while. So this is what I'm saying. At the end of the day, We don't knock nobody. If you come up here, that's cool. But what we not going to tolerate is the disrespect. You don't have to yell at us. Just show us. If we asking for a source, it's because we want to learn. So we don't mean, it was not that we didn't. Wait a minute. And when we mean by a source, we mean whether it was written by a author or whether we can go and look up W dot something. That's what we mean by a source. We was not knocking her putting together a bunch of sourceful information. We just want to know
You didn't allow
where.
her to say that though.
Wait a minute. We listen. First of all, again, I let you go.
If you guys wouldn't have interjected, okay, but I want to correct you on that point.
Why are you cutting me off? You're doing exactly the same thing you're telling me I'm doing. Let her finish.
So I'm confused. I let you go. I was quiet.
I mean, that's fine. You can be confused. I already know what's
Can you let the godmother finish, please?
So thank you for coming because this is not getting us nowhere. So thank you for coming, and you can go ahead and drop.
I'm here. No, you can drop Makulu. That's who needs to go.
You can drop your ass out. I'm not dropping. This is not your platform.
I'm just confused about. Listen, I'm confused because like I said,
do your own life. Stop telling people drop it.
You got to and disrespect her before she can explain to you what those things are.
But can you let the sister just finish her points?
You can't get it together.
Yeah, let's stop now. Now this is my road. This is my house. You are all follow my rule now. Potolo will proceed his speech. Next, Godly. Next, Mukulu.
Thank you.
Period.
Okay.
You skip me.
Period. But
Thank you, David.
But thank you. You proceed. Next, Godly. Godly will present. Next, Mukulu. Okay.
All right. Yeah. Salute to the panel. Salute to the chat. So I've been wondering why DNA testing for paternity and DNA testing for crime investigation are valid, but not valid for genealogy. So that's one point. And I think DNA testing should solve the problem. That's one of the solutions. Based on that we just said, we want to talk about solution. So I think DNA testing is going to be part of it. It's going to play a big role. But by hearing those who are claiming to be Native Americans, they tend to stay away from DNA. Every time we mention DNA, they're saying that it's not valid, and then they are not going to do it. But my recommendation is to actually do it. Do both genealogy and DNA. The next point I want to make here is, are they bird species or plant species in the Americas that are found in Africa? That's my question. Are they bird species or plant species in the Americas that are found in Africa? Yes or no?
Hold on. Wait a minute.
Don't Google it.
I don't know.
I live in the state. I've seen Raven.
They don't
I've
know
seen
that
Raven in
we
the
be
state.
writing all of this stuff down, and I'm the only one up here. I see right now that is kind of a part of the team. So what was question number 2 is what I'm trying to get my ink pen right, and I need another
Okay, I will
device.
continue. Yeah, let me continue, ma'am, if there's no answer. So I live in the States, and I've seen bird species.
I didn't understand. What was your question though? You said
The question was, are there bird species found in the America that are also found in Africa?
What, right? I don't understand what you're saying. Like, what
There are many birds and species inside of Amazon.
Birds or birds?
Okay.
They still discovering
birds.
Oh, birds. Okay, yeah, because I don't understand this. I wasn't trying to be rude. That's why I said, can you?
I mean, but if anybody can answer the question is yes.
So,
I mean,
let me just continue.
The question is no. It's no. It is not unless they're in the zoos. The question, the answer definitely is no, because and I'm gonna let them go, and we can go back and rebuttal because that's what God was saying.
Okay.
So go ahead, keep going.
If you go to the Amazon, if you go to the Amazon, there are many species that exist that they haven't even discovered yet.
Come on, man. Let me continue. So I live in the States. I've seen birds where I live in the state I live in, right? And I've seen the same bird species in Africa. Does that mean that the bird species that I've seen in the America migrated and came to the America? Probably, we don't know. We don't know, right? That's why I'm saying that this claim of being native is a valid claim, and they have a shot. They have a shot here. But here's the problem. The problem is they are trying to dissociate themselves from Africa. And based on Clyde Winters, Van Sertina, and also Web Dubois. They're talking about
W.E.B. Du Bois. Yes.
yeah, Du Bois. They're talking about the presence of black in the Americas before Columbus. They have artifacts. They have cliff dwellings. They have graffitis. They have.
Are you talking about the book
spears.
that came before Columbus? Sorry, brother. Sorry for cutting you. Are
Yeah,
you talking about
they
the
have
book that
spears
came before
alloy
Columbus?
called guanin, and guanin is a word, is a Mandi word, and that word is still used today in Africa. The language that they spoke is similar to the language spoken in West Africa today. So for them to dissociate from Africa, I think yeah, they're gonna encounter some big toll gate. They're gonna encounter a barricade basically.
Right.
So for
So
to
I'm
me,
glad that
they have to do DNA testing. DNA
is it
testing
was.
is major, right? And also, they cannot dissociate themselves from Africa because those Africans traded, right? They mingled with whoever they found here, right? So they cannot dissociate from Africa. That's the point I wanted to make. That's all I got.
But it was very violent,
Okay,
and that's why
thank you.
I'm glad that he said
Godly, you
that.
can proceed.
I'm glad that he said that.
Chill. Thank you.
Okay, it's my turn, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So first, let's deal with this foolishness of ancestral DNA testing. The reason why people from our community don't want to deal with DNA testing when it comes to ancestral DNA testing, because we actually do read, we actually do study, we actually do know what happens to us historically when we start to give our body fluids to these agencies, which we don't understand what they're doing. If you read the fine prints in ancestral DNA companies that's doing these ancestral DNA tests, they tell you that they can't give you no substantial proof to where you actually come from. And if you look in Africa, go and tell us what percentage of Africans are actually taking DNA tests that's in that database. See, these are the things that y'all get on these platforms and y'all regurgitate these European things that's trying to usher us into it. And I'm gonna give you something even deeper. I want y'all to go into and look and see where these ancestral DNA banks are kept at. If you see, they're all in places like China. And China so happens last year came out and acknowledged that they've created a biological weapon that can focus on a specific group of people. So these type of things pops up when you start to do things freely, because they publicize and make these things popular without reading and understanding them. A DNA test, and none of these DNA tests that you take towards ancestry is accepted in any court of law, nowhere on the planet. Matter of fact, no real scientist is going to tell you that DNA tests can prove where you come from. Nobody's going to back it. You can't find one that's going to back it. And let's move on from there, because you studied making other points. You
Bro,
talking
the
about
point I was
birds.
trying to make here
Hold on,
is
hold on, brother.
today.
Hold on. You wasn't
Yeah,
cut off. I let
they
you
have
go.
ample.
I purposely let you
Let him
flow
finish.
through. I purposely and what I just said about DNA testing, guys, you can research that. You can look it up. You can go to. You can matter of fact, you can go to these DNA companies, 23andMe, Ancestry. All these people that gives you DNA tests. Read all the fine print on it. It tells you that. Now let's get to this thing where you're talking about birds, where somebody want to say that these are valid points. We didn't survive off eating birds. We ate off vegetation, fruits, vegetables, plants, and things like that. When you look at it, it will show you, if you research it, you will see that most of the plants that's in Africa today were brought from the Americas.
That's not
You
true.
guys have over, I think, maybe 640 plants, and over
Do you have
600
a
of those
document to
plants
back
are
that up? Do you
indigenous
have
to
a
the
document?
Americas.
You have sources. Give us
I don't
sources.
need this.
Give
I don't
us
need your
sources.
I'm not giving you shit. He didn't give you no. He didn't give no sources. I'm not giving you
Let
none.
him finish.
But
Let
the
him
people on the
finish.
panel can research this for
Please
themselves.
let him
They
finish.
can research for yourselves.
He will back up.
He was talking about birds. I just told you what you survive off of is vegetation. What we ate was we were cultivators. We ate off the land. So the things that would suffice for living in life would be plants and vegetation. And those things in Africa wasn't a major part of their society until after the boom, after we fed them and took all things over there to that continent of Africa. Those are the things that y'all don't want to talk about when y'all in the room, when you hear these little foolish stories. And we don't care about disassociating ourselves from Africa at all, because if our paperwork and our documentation and the work that we've done had put us in Africa, we would say it proudly.
What's your language?
But if I've done my research, if I've done my family lineage, my family genealogy, and I've done this historical work, all this what went on with this government, this American history, and all that type of stuff, and it points to say something differently, I'm going to stand on that as well. I'm not going to sit on a platform and regurgitate my colonizers and the most evil, foul people in the existence of history, regurgitate the things that they've been telling us and teaching us in school. And the problem I have is a lot of these information come from indoctrinated Africans. Their grandparents and their ancestors weren't telling them about no damn transatlantic slave trade when they was coming up. I've spoke to them. I spoke to a lot of them coming when I was doing
That's
my research.
not true.
Nobody hears about that until they start getting into these Europeanized school systems. They teach you that everybody came from Africa. They teach y'all that we come from Africa. And then you don't even see how inferior they make you look and see as a people. How are you going to allow 12.5 million of your people to be kidnapped and pillaged and take from Africa, from your continent by some people who just came out of the caves a few thousand years before, a few hundred years before that, a few thousand years before that, they just came up out of caves. But all of a sudden, they so powerful that they can take 12 million of so-called strong soldiers, you know what I'm saying, all that type of stuff over there. It's just ridiculous. They come on these platforms. Then if you do just the mathematics, exactly. If you do just simple mathematics,
I'm confused right now. This sounds like facts on both parts, but isn't it like you're doing the same exact thing?
He's not saying anything. Can you wrap up, Gandhi, so I can speak?
I know you don't like to hear. Let me land my plane. Let me land my plane.
Land your plane, please.
Insulting Africa.
I'm not insulting nobody. What I'm telling you is
you're trying to convince us the same thing that you're saying that's happening.
That's what the Europeans have done when they told you that your people sat back and allowed 12.5 million of people to be kidnapped. Most of those people came over here looking for a better way on those trades. And it wasn't just melanated.
In the name of one African who owned the ship. Who owned the ships?
So let me.
Who owned the ships? No.
So my point to you is I land this plane. So as I land this plane, right? So as I land this plane. You got.
Bro, we now respecting the host. Let him finish.
So can I land this plane?
Let him finish, Mukulu. Let him finish.
If you look geographically, if you understand oceans and ocean gyres and all this type of stuff, then you know that there's no way logically that these voyages could go as flawlessly as they need to be for mathematically for these things to happen. If they tell you they had 12 ships and they telling you that these ships hold X amount of people on those ships, and they telling you that over half of those people will be unalive coming over here on those ships, you do the math and you tell me how you come up with 12.5 million. This is what I'm saying. When you deal with information,
the numbers gotta be.
It has to not only be. I'm landing the plane. When you deal with information, it has to not only be good, sound information, but it has to be able to fit within the context of common sense and logics. Most of this conversation that y'all bringing to the table, they don't have none of that when it comes to it. It's just somebody have indoctrinated you to believe that they were a superior being, that they did all these great things in history. And they have not. They have not.
Are you done?
Who have not?
Can you give us the name of one African who owned the ship?
Poro, let him. If I'm done, okay, it's my turn right now.
Can you tell me the ancient name of Africa?
Huh?
Paro, can you tell me the ancient name of Africa? Because Makulo, he don't know.
I know.
Bro.
Because you only speak English. If I start speaking Kikongo, you will not understand. I know the name of Africa in my language.
Congo? In your language, what's the ancient name?
Congo. That's the name. Congo.
That's Congo.
In all
the language was Kikongo.
Okay, please, can I? Truth. It's my turn. Okay, I'm just gonna read this book because this book is very, very important. I'm just.
Can you find another book? Can you find another book? Because you say the same book every time.
No, this book will debunk everything you just said. Let me just finish. I just gave, I say, American Slavery, a very short introduction. That's the book.
Okay, we've been through that then.
Heather Andrea Williamson, I just gave you a source because you can't give me any source. It's my turn right now, Dawi.
It's your turn, yeah.
Okay. I'm just going to read. It's my turn. It's my turn.
Wait,
No,
it's
go to the
Andy.
bottom.
It's Andy's turn, Moo.
No, it's not. It's his turn, then mine. Please,
It's
I just have
mine.
a few questions. I have a few questions after him. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So in this book, if anybody gonna have a chance to purchase the book, so they said, right, when Christopher Columbus made his Spanish founded journeys in the 1490s to the Caribbean and North and South America, he opened up mineral-rich and fertile lands on which European countries planted their flags and the Christian cross. Portugal had their way, but by the 15 and 1600, others, including the Dutch, the Spanish, the French, the Danes, and the English, began to explore Africa and the New World. The jealousies, rivalries, and conflicts that characterized relationship among these countries on the European continent continued in their excursions to Africa, the Caribbean, and North America. As the jostle for wealth and power, Europeans captured each other's ships on the Atlantic. They fought in Africa and they colonized in the New World. Over time, the Portuguese claimed Brazil, the Spanish claimed Jamaica, Bolivia, Peru, Venezuela, Cuba, Mexico, and Florida. The Dutch, Suriname, and New Amsterdam, the English, Barbados, and Virginia. The violent conflicts among these European powers continued as, for example, the English captured Jamaica from the Spanish in 1655 and wasted New Amsterdam from the Dutch in 1665. In the Caribbean and South America, colonists forced indigenous people, including the Arawaks, Caribs, and Mayans, and Taínos, and mine gold or silver, or to plant sugarcane. But when most of the native people
Unalive.
died,
You can't say that. You can't say that. You have to say unalived.
huh?
He teaches
You have to say
about
most people were
history we already
unalive.
know.
You can't say that.
No, I'm just reading the book.
I know, but
It's
when
not
you're
my
reading,
word.
you have to watch the
Yeah,
terminology.
okay,
Man,
but when
this is a book
most
we
of the
had in
native people
school, brother. We
died,
had this book in America already. We
I'm
had
about to
this,
say we studied this in school. We know this book.
right. It's what I'm saying. It's not an African. This is not African class about America,
come
bro.
on, man. If you not want to learn, let other people want to learn, they can learn. Can I finish? But when most of the native people
This is an
died from
African teaching
overwork,
us about America.
can I finish my plan, please? All diseases, Europeans looked to Africa as the source of labor for the New World. So when God is talking about ships and everything, here's the thing. They say in this book, in 17th, 18th, and 19th century, much larger ships than the original Portuguese caravels made the Atlantic crossing that became known as the Middle Passage, with slave ships packed with an average of 300. Listen, an average of 300, not millions, people each, approximately 35,000 voyages took captive from Africa to Europe and the America from the, listen, if you go look up the sources, you pretend it. Listen very carefully. They say approximately 35,000 voyages took captive from Africa to Europe and the America from the 15 to the 1860 100. The number of people transported changed over time as the demand for slave labor increased in North and South America, reaching peak in the late 1700s. I'm landing.
Right.
Scholars
Okay,
estimate, you see, so
Yeah,
That's the thing.
400 years of slavery, blah blah blah. We learned this already, bro.
Right.
But
I'm
the
giving
math
you
don't
the
even
year. Go read the
the
book.
math didn't even add up. The math didn't even add up. 400 years of
Oh,
slavery,
come on,
but
man.
they was catching motherfuckers in the 1500s. That mean we would still
Come out
been
of
in
here.
slavery until
Darwin, can I
1900s.
finish my point?
Hold on, y'all. Get the rebuttal again on the second go round. Let the gentleman go at the bottom, y'all.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Listen, they say the book says before deporting, most captives lived for months. Listen, before deporting, most captives lived for months in dark and claustrophobic dangers, also called slave castle. Such Elimina in Ghana on the Gold Coast. Portuguese traders built Elmina
All right, bro. You made your point, bro. We already know about this, bro.
Come on. You saying the ships, you were saying it's impossible to take 12 million. I was just breaking down how they were taking slaves. Can I finish my point, please? Stop cutting me off. Let me just finish reading so you can ask your damn question.
When you get finished, let us know how old that book is. Yeah, let us know how old that book is when you get finished.
You crazy, guy.
We want to know how old
you out of your damn mind.
How old is that book?
Who is the author? Who is the author?
Okay. Let me just finish if you pretend you want to respond. The Portuguese traders built the Elmina fortress in 1482. That was the time that the Portuguese came in contact with Congo Kingdom, where I'm from. I came from Congo Kingdom. That's why I speak Congo, because we the Congo people, right? And I continue. But it eventually became a space for holding captive until ships were ready to sail to the Caribbean, South America, or North America. Despite the cannons built onto the top of the fortress, the Dutch. If I want to read the whole book, so he needs to drop all of you down so we can educate our people.
Right. Can we let Andy go?
I just have a quick point to make you. A quick point. 30 seconds.
Hold on.
Why would the master lie about the numbers? Why would the slave master lie about the 12 million?
Why would they tell the truth about the 12 million?
Are you asking me a question, guys?
Superiority. But how old is that book?
But I see a lot of
just let Andy go.
Andy understand their own English.
We know
I say this.
Whitewashed. We know
I say this.
Whitewashed, but
this is not a white man, a white woman. She said, right? Approximately 35,000 voyages took captive from Africa to Europe and America from 15 to 1860, 100.
You're not a white man, but you're spewing white man information, white man superiority.
Makulu have to educate himself.
I mean, I'm done with this.
Not get educated by the white man.
Brother, if you want to we want to go over the book. We can organize the live. We can educate other people, because this pretending, there's nothing you're gonna say with debunk the theory, whatever they have in their head. So they're asking me the year of the book.
The book told you the whole 12 million. Didn't even come over here, brother.
You're not going to give Andy a turn. He's been waiting patiently. Okay, just let him have his turn. And then
I'm out of drop. So it was nice talking to you, brother. And godmother, very good. Everybody, godly truth seeking. Yeah. I love you, but the thing is, you are not American. You are pretending. You were brought to America.
Watching these lies you in, bro. I've lost all respect for you.
I got real records to prove who I am. Yeah. Ma'am, you still haven't identified yourself over with.
Well,
it's funny to me that we keep dropping mad fucking paperwork, and as you see here, this is land allotments for my great-great-great-grandfather that I'm about to go claim. But I don't recall finding any paperwork for land in Africa.
So, this one is for you, Rye, my best friend. This is for you. So we got in this conversation, and we were talking about this, and I was like, man, I don't even understand how this is going on. So we started talking about cursive writing, how they don't even teach that no more. So, if you look at the bottom right there, it says cancel.